At just a little under £1 is the Nikon P7800, your summer camera you've been looking for. Hey everyone, I'm Gabby with Gadget Review, and today we're going to be looking at not necessarily the newest, but one of the latest generations of the Nikon COOLPIX P series cameras. And hopefully with this video you can decide for yourself if this is the camera you want to be traveling with. So it's got its usual run-of-the-mill digital camera selections right at the top. You know, you have your manual, aperture priority, shutter priority, program, of course you have automatic, and you have a couple of these user selects which you can of course, select specific settings and be able to come back to them very quickly. You have effects, which has just kind of a myriad of quirky fun settings, sepia, soft, paint, so on and so forth, if you're into that kind of stuff. As far as the build, I think it's a solid camera. It feels good in the hand, it's got a good grip, and just overall it's made out of this kind of very tough plastic. It just feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's just gonna break while it's in your camera bag or anything like that. Of course, right up here you've got two knobs to change your aperture and shutter speed really quickly, and personally I'm a fan of just having more knobs on the camera itself rather than having all the stuff in the menus, because you can get a little, I get a little frustrated when I have to go through the menus, and it's kind of, I like physically being able to change everything and know that it's right there. You have a little button here for the viewfinder, and to be honest, I did not really use it. It's not the best it's not the best picture inside. I can't really tell, I don't really even tell if it's cropped or not, but I kind of just stuck away from it because I didn't really care for it too much. The flash right here isn't adjustable, so it can't, pivot or anything, but it's nice that it kind of hides right here. So the focus on the camera is actually pretty quick, and I think the photos came out really sharp. And overall, I was happy with the photos. The thing I really wanted to focus on with this camera is the video modes. Since we've been doing more YouTube gadget review material, I needed a secondary camera to help with some B-roll. So here's what I think. So of course right here you have your video modes, and you have your automatic, and then you have your custom mode. I was a fan of the custom movie settings because I like to set my aperture, I like to set my shutter speed, ISO, and know that it's going to stay there that way. On top of that, it does have a white balance feature, which is based on the color temperature number system, whatever it's called. So you can just kind of pick the number according to, you kind of eyeball it and go from there instead of picking their kind of generic inside-outside settings. The thing that was a little frustrating was when you're in manual mode, you really can't adjust. When you hit record, you're kind of stuck. So you can't adjust the aperture or the shutter speed if you need to. You're kind of just stuck with what you are. So you have to do is you have to stop filming, adjust everything, and continue shooting. And the same goes for the zoom. So if you're filming something and you need to zoom in, you have to stop the recording session and then zoom and then start recording again. It shoots 1080 30 frames, does not shoot 24, which again, not a big fan of. And it does not shoot 720 60 frames in custom movie settings. But the weird thing about it is that even though it says it's 720 60 frames, in normal video mode, it's not a true 60 frames. If you open up in QuickTime, you take a look, it's actually only 29.7, so all it really is doing is duplicating it when you're putting it into a timeline. That's not cool, I don't think. Okay, so as you can see, the camera does not have interchangeable lenses, which can be a big plus because you don't have to lug a bunch of lenses around with you if you're on the go. When it comes to manually focusing, you have this little spin wheel right here, just around the OK button. And what I liked about it is that you can, of course, move the spin wheel around, but then you also can press the up and down to kind of have this smooth focus. So you can actually rack focus really easily when you're filming, and it gives it a really cool effect. So again, if whatever you're shooting is running in and out, it's pretty easy to actually just kind of adjust quickly instead of messing around with the lens too much. So just give you a heads up though, when you are doing autofocus and you're filming, you don't have the ability to change your focus. I was having trouble, even if you press the top little shutter button, it doesn't readjust to whatever you're filming. So I would say almost stick to manual and constantly control it, because I think it's just better. So what I found, I ended up really just kind of sticking into the automatic mode, because automatic, it would allow you to zoom in and zoom out a little bit more. and just allow you to control the camera a little more while, you know, it's still recording, which I kind of enjoyed. Oh, forgot to mention, it has an external mic, which you can go ahead and pop in, which is a great plus, I think, to have on this little thing. But overall, I mean, I was really happy with the video quality. I think it came out really nicely here. You know, I'll definitely post up some videos right here so you can kind of see what I've done with them. And you know, for how small it is, how compact it is, I loved that it was giving me some nice quality video. Overall, for a summer camera, I am quite a fan of it because, again, like I said, it's solid. It feels good in the hand. The quality is just, you know, as far as picture and video are great. For me, I get really nitpicky as far as video settings. I would like to see 1080 24 frames at least. I would like to see a true 60 frames, if that. I think for me, I would stick to an interchangeable lens just because I really want to be able to manipulate the focus a little bit better. But still not going to complain. I took this thing to New York and I've shot some footage there, and you know, we've been using it on some of the other Gadget review videos. So, and it's been doing a great job. So I'm waiting to see, you know, what other cameras come out from Nikon. But you know, if you see this in store on sale or something, don't hesitate to pick it up. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Gabby with Gadget Review, and please subscribe if you can, and have a good day.